Hi, everybody. It's good to see you guys. How was your 4th of July? Yay! So we missed you last week, but it was nice to have the holiday and to be able to celebrate really the freedom that we have in America. Really, that's where it's at. We live in an amazing country and super, super blessed and very fortunate to live in the country that we live in. So that's how I feel about that. So tonight we are going to do a little bit something different. We're going to do some resources that for oil education and some of the resources that I used when I first started. So we're going to talk about some really basic stuff that will maybe help you think about some stuff that maybe you haven't thought about. Maybe it'll be just like a refresher for you. But we just thought that it would be good to go back to the basics a little bit. So before we get started, who wants to share something new and good that happened?
Can I share something kind of new, but not really good?
Yeah.
Well, it's just kind of an eye opener for me. But
Yes.
so I told my friend that I would help her out this week working for a family law office as their receptionist. So I've been having to get up early and actually go to work and be somebody's bee. And so one of these attorneys is kind of mean to me because I don't speak Spanish. I um, I don't do the stuff that the other girl does. Like she goes above and beyond her job and like she gets taken advantage of. They're not paying her for her work. And so he and I clash heads a little bit because I'm a little headstrong and I don't know this stuff and I'm not going to do it. I'm there as a volunteer to answer phones and make appointments. So we kind of clash a little bit. But anyways, so I was told I can put my bag in this drawer. So I put my bag in this drawer. Well, they had managed to put her paycheck over the top of my bag. Well, I had to move the paycheck. Well, I kind of saw how much she made. I make more than she does at doing doTERRA and her working 45, 45 hours a week. I make more than her as premier than she does at this job. And she worked so hard because I had to train with her. And I just, I really had been sitting there thinking about her worth, like how they didn't value her and how much more value we get from sharing oils with people. Like that no is nothing compared to what I've put up with for 2 days. And I've been doing this for 2 days. Like my husband is so proud that he thought I would have quit after yesterday. But just remember while you're out sharing, you have more worth than what a corporate America job will treat you as. And you get, doTERRA has such a great compensation plan that you actually get paid for your work. And so it's just been very enlightening. The only thing that it helped me with is after I quit at Lone Star many years ago, I didn't think I could go back to kind of doing something like that. So it was kind of an internal thing why I chose to. But man, if you have a job, just run with doTERRA. Get out of there. I mean, you will find more value and worth and more freedom. It's really been hard for me to have somebody tell me I can't walk around, I can't do this. You have to have a half-hour lunch. You can't. And I'm like, this is not happening. So I just wanted to share that because it's something that I haven't had a job for like 7 years. I've just done doTERRA and done my massage, but I mostly do doTERRA. doTERRA is my pipeline. It's my life. And so having this little job for a week and a day, it's kind of like, I don't want to go back that life. So I hope those of you that are working this business to get towards that, man, hammer down. Those no's are nothing compared to the way you get treated. So anyways, that's my good, but not so great story this week.
That was awesome. That was a great share. That's a good share. Very good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else? So I have a quick share that kind of goes along with that. So we're in Libby, Montana, and we've just been exploring the idea and options for purchasing land here. And so we looked at a piece of property last night, and the neighbor happened to walk out and talk to us. And my question was, how do you like it here? Well, I meant, how do you like where his home is positioned? He thought I was talking about Libby. And he said, if you're self-sufficient, this is a great area. But if you're not, if this is a very depressed area, you can't make any money here. And he said, and I still have a few more years left where I have to make money. And he was in between you and me, don't you think? Yeah. So he's around 55-ish, somewhere around there. He was a cop in Colorado, and so it was something that I had been thinking about while we were here anyway, because this is a depressed area. And Mark and I were talking about it, and it was just, for me, I just had that overwhelming feeling of gratitude for how blessed we are in our life, because we do get to choose where we want to live, and it doesn't have to, it's not dependent on the economy or where we can get a job. And so it goes along with what Melissa was talking about, is that this really is an amazing opportunity for us to be able to live the kind of life that we want to live, whatever that looks like. So that was just a quick kind of, when you have those moments of bring you up short and your heart thumps and it's like, oh God, thank you for my life, because this is pretty awesome. And for me, when I say, I feel really blessed, or we have a blessed life, that seems, it seems like not enough, because it just feels like we're more than blessed. So that's my share in that. If nobody has anything else, we're gonna move on to a few little resources. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Go ahead, Melissa.
I met with I've got a new builder, so who's on board to build, and I should have a new team member on here tonight. Her name is Karen Crawford. She's not here yet, but hopefully she'll show up soon. So
awesome.
Somebody else is joining the Sizzle.
Sweet. Congratulations.
Yeah. And I've got an appointment with a gal, and that was one of my questions. So I hope you'll talk about that, about when you lead with the business. Now, what do I do? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Not tonight. Tracy, not tonight.
Not tonight? Oh, no.
Oh, no. We can talk about it when in the Q&A. We'll definitely bring that up, because I will probably forget. So ask again.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Melissa?
So I had a one-on-one last Saturday, and she actually brought a friend, and they both signed up.
Awesome.
Sweet.
So that was a huge yay for me.
That's awesome. Congratulations. What a great feeling.
Yeah, they're both in my husband's van pool. So they all carpool together. So he's been, sharing what he's got and what he uses. And they're like, hey, let's learn more about that. So I drove out to where they live, and it was awesome.
Sweet.
Cool.
Very cool. Okay. So when I started, I actually reached out to Natalie. We had a one-on-one. That's what my event was for enrolling with Natalie. It was a one-on-one. The initial introduction was actually on Facebook in a roundabout way through Melissa Prashant and Lateran. So it really was I believe it was a divine connection. But in our one-on-one, we just did the basic talk about the oils and the benefits benefit of the company, and it was just a very conversational kind of one-on-one, nothing formal. I had questions and she answered my questions. That's really what our one-on-one was. So when I got done getting my account, she gave me a little pamphlet, a little booklet. So have you guys, who uses this?
The one she actually gave you was A to Z, right?
Nope. So this is actually the booklet from that Boyd Truman created. It looks different now than it did when I first started. So when I first started using oils, this was my Bible. I went through this. I just kind of perused everything because I had no idea. I was completely ignorant when it came to what essential oils could do for us. I had a lady tell me quite some time before I got my account about using an essential oil for my shoulder pain, and my reaction was probably very similar to what a lot of us get at one time or another, and there was just a little kind of snicker like, yeah, right. I'm going to put a little bit of essential oil on my shoulder and everything's going to be okay. And I really just blew her off because I just didn't believe it. And so when I got this, what's cool about this book is that it is not compliant, just so you know. So this book is not compliant, which is awesome when you're giving it to someone in a one-on-one situation, because when we're talking to customers and people that are not aware of what the FDA is and what compliance is, and we start trying to make sure that our language is all perfect and start talking about being compliant, we're going to get some glazed looks. So personally, for me, when I have one-on-ones face-to-face, I don't worry about that. And this book gives you the opportunity to go through symptoms. And this is what I give when I have new people join me. This is the book that I give them. And mostly the reason that I give this to them is because if people are familiar with essential oils, more than likely it's lavender. And what they know about lavender is that it helps you to rest. People use it for sleeping or, whatever. This gives them an opportunity to peruse through, and they will go through, and different people will pop into their head, and different symptoms and ailments will pop into their head, and they'll go through this and they will find solutions. And so it helps them to think outside the box. The other one that she gave me, I put it away. It's a bigger one that goes along with this. Boyd has another one. If you go to truewellness.com, you'll be able to, that's where you can buy the stuff that Boyd has put together. And did you remember what the name of the other one is that goes along with this? It's the bigger. So this one is simplified. Oh boy.
I'll hurry and look. I got it here too somewhere.
The other one is the expanded.
Oh yeah.
So that one, that's what that is. It just so happened that the first person that I talked to about essential oils, I gave this one away. So I didn't get a chance to use this one very much. But I did use the little one. So a couple of other references, books, whatever, I'm sure you guys are aware of, but if you're not, there's Modern Essentials book, and there's the Essential Life book. Who has the Essential Life book? Okay, so I think personally what I have seen is that the Modern Essentials book has a little bit more science to it, I think, and the Essential Life is more life application, really more basic stuff. For me, I am not science-minded, so I like the Essential Life book better than the Modern Essential book, but they are both really, really good. Have some other ones, but the one thing that I wanted to talk about the most is that have you guys heard of Susan Lott? Okay, so Susan Lawton used oils long before doTERRA. She has her own practice. When I first started, she had a call every week. It was a phone call, and she would go through an oil once a week, a different oil every week. And so at that time, I had a full-time job. So I would work and I would listen to the recording, or I would listen to the live call of the specific oils that she would talk about. One of the things that I loved about listening to her and learning from her is because she had a practice. So it wasn't just the scientific aspect of what the oil is good for. It wasn't all of the specific jargon for the oil. It was life application. So she would go through all of what the oil would do, and then she would talk about how she would use it in her practice, which was fantastic for me. So one of the things that I wanted to do is, in the process of talking about this, is that lemon oil is the oil that I'm going to touch on when I'm going through the different resources that I have. And I'm going to come back to that, but I forgot about this resource that I use all the time. So the Symphony of the Cells is another, it's an oil application. It's a protocol for different systems in your body. Who is not familiar with Symphony of the Cells? Okay, so this is I think this is the new book. It is the new book. So in the Symphony of the Cells book, it goes through, there's different oils that are listed, and like I said, it's a protocol for oil application. And so I use the protocol for oil application, even if I don't use the specific symptoms that Boyd has in this book, especially with kids. So if I have, like, if the grandkids are not feeling good or they need oils applied, I will use the Symphony of the Cells application in order to do that. And basically what it is that you're layering oils down the spine, and you're also putting it on the feet. It's great to have them smell it, but the most important thing, it's just like aroma touch. The most important thing is that you get the oils on them. And so with the kids, what I usually end up doing is I pray about it. I use intuition, and I use their symptoms. And then I will go and pick a few oils, and then I will layer them. The thing to remember is, when in most oil applications, you want to layer. When I first started, I dropped all the oils at once in my hand and apply. That's not going to hurt you. It's not wrong, but it is better if you can layer. So when we do it in roller balls and different things like that, we still get great results. It's easier for us to use like that. But when it comes to specific application for certain ailments, it really is better to be able to layer them. So you'll just drop the oil on, rub it in, drop the other one on, rub it in. You'll use the carrier oil. You can get this book on True Wellness as well. Boyd does travel, and he does teach classes about Symphony of the Cells. If you're ever in an area where you see that he does Symphony of the Cells, I highly, highly recommend that you take the time to go and learn from Boyd. He has a lot of really good stuff, and it also goes along with the life application of using oils. He's just got years and years of experience. So it's not just an educated oration that he's doing. This is his life. And so we get an opportunity to learn some really good stuff from him when he's teaching the Symphony of the Cells. So when I enroll people with the however they get their kit, I enroll people with the loyalty rewards. And in the spiel of explaining to them about the importance of having a loyalty rewards account, I make sure and tell them that, because some people think that you have to spend $100 every month if they go on loyalty rewards. That is not so. So I make sure that I hit on that every time I talk about loyalty rewards. And when I talk about where we're going to set your loyalty rewards up, you're going to be positioned to be able to save money and earn points. If you spend $50 or more, that's when you get a chance to earn those points and increase in your percentage for savings. If you spend below 50, you go into a holding pattern. If you don't have money at one time during the month, when it's time to place your order, place an order of lemon oil. And so lemon oil is $10. If you're placing an order through Loyalty Rewards, you get your shipping paid for, so it really is a no-brainer. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is going through a few basic uses of lemon oil. When you're talking to your people and you say, well, you just order a bottle of lemon oil, more often than not, they're going to say, well, what do I use lemon oil for? I mean, most people put lemon oil in their water, and that's really what they talk about. Lemon oil is awesome for your gut. It's really good for cleansing. You can put it under your tongue. You can put it in your water. And that's really, for the most part, some very basic information that people have on lemon oil. So on this sheet that I have, this is actually, it's a printout that I got with Susan Lawton's information. So I have a whole file that goes through, it has a recording, it has a complete information sheet about each oil, and it's awesome information. And Kenzie is going to give that to you guys as a link, so you guys will be able to use these as well. What you need to know for sure, you need to know this, these are not compliant. Do not gather this information and blast it all over Facebook. This is totally for your information and your information alone to be able to share in a more personal environment. Make sense? Okay, so I went through and just highlighted a couple of things just for information. So lemon oil has been documented to be helpful with anxiety, blood pressure, clarity of thought, digestive problems, energy, gallstones, kidney stones, promoting new blood cell growth, lymphatic system, cleansing, memory improvement, can lower blood pressure, assist in liver detox, and relief of muscle aches and pains, cleansing and repair of skin injuries, decreases intestinal parasites, sore throat and sinus repair, pain relief of arthritis and rheumatism, water purification, removing gum from hair, removing wood stain from clothes and from wood, removes oil and grease spots. So,
Well, I was just seeing in France, they use it for other things.
Yes.
Sore throats, high blood pressure, syphilis, gonorrhea, tuberculosis. If you're in France.
And one of the things that I learned when I was going through this is that I recommend people use lemon, lavender, and peppermint all the time if they have seasonal allergies, if you have allergies. I use 4 drops each under my tongue, swish, gargle, and swallow. The swish, gargle, and swallow has been what I've noticed has helped me the most with that, because it gets the oils at the floor of your sinuses. That helps me the most in doing that. I knew that lavender was a natural antihistamine, but I did not know that lemon is. So that was good information for me. And the other thing that I recommend when we talk about, like, people ask about detox, you know, we have the cleanse and restore kit. We have different things that we can do for the detox. But sometimes when people are first starting out with this, going through that whole cleanse and restore protocol might be a little bit too much for them. And also, if someone is super unhealthy, we want to be very careful about sending them to a cleanse and restore protocol and put them into detox too fast. And so if I have somebody that I'm talking to that I feel like they're really struggling with their health, I recommend lemon oil first before they start anything else. So what I recommend is that they get their oils get their lemon oil and start putting it in their water or putting it under their tongue, and it will allow for that slow process and the awareness for the detox and their gut health. And it also gives us a chance to step into that mode of being able to educate them on the importance of their gut. And lemon oil is a great place to start with that. And that is, it swings back around to being able to really have the knowledge and the information to help people see how important and how much you can use a $10 bottle of oil and they can still stay on loyalty rewards and be prepared. They're all set up. So when they do have a month that they spend $50 or more, they're going to gain those savings without having to go through all of the hoops that they have to go through to get it set up when they're ready to place the order. And so lemon oil is a perfect segue into being able to say, look, it's a very inexpensive oil, but it's very powerful in many ways. So the other reference that I wanted to share with you is the Emotions and Essential Oils book. And so I went through and found the emotions that go along with lemon oil. You guys want me to read that to you, or do you want to find the book and read it on your own? Okay. So lemon is the oil of focus. The delightful citrusy aroma of lemon oil nourishes the mind and aids concentration, while lemon supports the emotional body. Its major effects are experienced in the mental field. The crisp scent of lemon oil improves one's ability to focus. Lemon is a wonderful aid for children struggling with school. It teaches individuals to be mentally present by focusing on one thing at a time. Lemon dispels confusion and bestows clarity. It counterbalances mental fatigue due to too much studying or reading. Lemon restores energy, mental flexibility, and the drive to complete a project. Lemon is especially helpful in cases of learning disorders. Whether an individual has a difficult time concentrating or feels incapable of learning, lemon clears self-judgments about learning, such as I'm dumb or I'm not a good student. Lemon calms fears and insecurities while restoring confidence in the self. Emotionally, lemon inspires a natural playfulness and buoyancy in the heart. It assists in releasing feelings of depression by restoring feelings of joy and happiness. Lemon inspires joyful involvement in the present moment by infusing the soul with energy, confidence, and alertness. Negative emotions, confusion, inability to focus, mental fatigue, lack of joy and energy, learning disorders, and guilt. Positive properties, focus, energy, mentally connected, alert, mental clarity, rational, and joyful. So that's just one more thing that people can use lemon for. If you're at all interested in learning about how to use the oils as far as your emotions, this is an awesome book. There's also an app that you can get, and it is called the Essential Emotions Reference. So that's just an app that you can have on your phone, and I actually use my app more than I use the book. Super easy to use as a reference. In the app, you can look up either the emotion, the oil, or the body. So you can either look up your physical symptoms and find out what oil will go along with that. You can look up the emotion, or if you're drawn to a specific oil, look up that oil and see what emotions are connected with that. So that's that works good for me. So on this, the emotions addressed for lemon are nervous, addicted, negative, despair, distracted, low mood, lust, obsessive, and sad. Oil application, use aromatically or apply topically across forehead to clear negative thinking, encourage buoyancy, and refresh the spirit. Use caution with sun exposure. Super, super important, especially in the summertime when you're talking to people about lemon oil. Lemon oil is a photosensitive oil. And if they use it topically and then go out in the sun, there's a really good chance they're going to get burned. So you want to make sure that that you make them aware of that. The other one,
Romy, what was the name of that again? That app?
Essential Emotions reference app.
Okay, it's $9.99.
Is it this
Yes.
one?
Yes.
Okay.
And it actually goes along with the book. They're very interchangeable. So whichever you like best, if you like the book, then by all means get the book. But the app is definitely a quick way to make reference to something. One of the things that I use as well when we're talking to people, sometimes we come across people that say, oh, I'm not sick. I never get sick. I don't need oils because I'm never sick. So I really move into more of helping them to be aware of how the oils can help with emotions, because everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to feel good. And so it's just another way to be able to teach them that the oils are for many, many different uses. You can, talk to them about a diffuser and diffusing the oils to be able to help make their home relaxed or happy or whatever it is that they're looking for. And that's where really listening to them and asking lots of questions, that's how we will know best how to help them and give them the information that they need. Oh yeah, the one I have cards, or affirmation cards. And it's called Essential Oil Affirmations, created by Dr. Vanessa Moon. And it comes in just a deck of cards. That's what they are. And so the affirmation for lemon is, I am cleansed of my limiting beliefs. I am pure in my intent and purpose. I allow myself to speak my truth. So there's a ton of different ways that we can teach people how to use lemon oil, just lemon oil. These references are good for everything else too. So let me see. We also we've had this file forever, and we can remind me, and we'll put this in Rockstars. This might already be in Rockstars or the cafe, but it's 101 uses for the intro kit, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. This is, it's a really cool information sheet to be able to give to somebody when they're just starting, because the lemon, lavender, and peppermint are really gonna be some of the basic oils that people use. So this is just a fun little information sheet that you can give them so they can just have it handy and play around with it and check it out like that. So it has cooking, there's different cooking ideas in there, body and mind, bunch of cool stuff. So I didn't highlight these. I didn't highlight these, so I don't have any goodies for you on this one. But this is all good. Mark uses this probably more than I do as far as handing out information with that. Melissa, do you use lemon on your horses at all? Melissa Prashant?
I don't use it topically on the horses, but I will use it aromatically, and I do put it in their water bucket.
Okay, awesome.
So I'll put it's a galvanized water bucket. So I'll put 5 drops to a big, it's not super big. It's probably 100-gallon container, galvanized container. Don't put it in the plastic ones.
Right.
It kind of does break down, even though it's a thicker plastic, it will break that down. So I just use it in the galvanized, and it cleans it out really nice. Another one that I use in it is On Guard. So those are 2 that I put in my water bucket. So
Awesome.
as far as topically, no, because they're out in the sun. You have to be really careful.
Yeah.
They burn a lot faster than we do.
Right.
So
Awesome.
aromatically and then in their water, so they get that same benefit.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for me, one of my experiences using lemon oil was when Karina and I went to Cabo to visit our cousin, and it was probably, well, I went to Mexico one other time, but this was my first authentic trip to Mexico. And from the time I was little, I wanted to go to Mexico. So I wanted it to be the real thing. And our cousin lives there. So it's not the touristy area. And so I was determined that I was going to eat whatever she ate. Mind you, she's lived there on and off since she was about 15. So she's very well adapted to the different stuff that's in the food and life down there. So one of our first meals that we had when we was, it was clam ceviche. And it was at a little back street restaurant, and I ate it. And I did that the whole time we were there. Every time I ate something like that, I would put lemon oil under my tongue. And I had a couple of times after I ate where my stomach just started doing that little turning thing, and I was like, oh boy. Mind you, I am the biggest wuss in the world when it comes to nausea. It will stop me in my tracks. I am a big baby with that. And so I put lemon oil under my tongue, and it made it go away. I never did get sick. I had one day where I was uncomfortable, but I never had any ill effects from any of the food that I ate down there, and I was not careful with any of it. And I totally believe that lemon oil is what protected me from that. I don't recommend that you just go willy-nilly. Listen to yourself. That's just my experience. So don't just go and eat anything and think that lemon oil is going to protect you completely, because that was just for me. So that's my experience with lemon oil. Kenzie had a couple of references that she was going to talk about with all of this.
Yeah. So I like to use a lot on my phone because I get questions all day long from everyone that I work with as we try to support team members, is the Modern Essentials app. And I really like it. I use the Modern Essentials book occasionally, but the app really, because someone will say they have a something going on, like an ailment, you just type in the ailment and send them the screenshot because it just comes up really quick with what they need. So I use that quite a bit. The other thing that I would recommend is the best thing you can do with your Fast Start money is to provide education for the person you just enrolled. Because when that person is educated, that's going to come back to you time and time again. Like, you should be able to make up that Fast Start investment within the first, 60 days of receiving that Fast Start. So a book that I like to give, when people enroll that you can pick up a little more affordable is this book called Essentials of the Earth. And you can buy this book in bulk. It's not my favorite guide, but it's a really good starting place, and it gives them something in their hands that you can send with them. I wouldn't, like Romy said, she got that little pamphlet. I would never leave oils with someone without education, because they need to know what to do, and they're not going to open the bottles and explore if they don't know how to find that. You kind of have to put it right in their lap. So that's one that I use a lot. Another one that I use that Romy kind of mentioned that she uses is the Essential Life book. I like the Essential Basic book because, one, it's smaller and I can carry it with me. And again, it's more affordable if you're going to give it away. Like Romy said, she gave her book away. This is one that you can easily give away. Always put your information in your books. It's amazing how these things tend to get passed around. So always put phone numbers in your book. I do recommend updating your books every year at convention. New books come out. Not that it's necessary, but it's really nice to be able to put your information in your book and leave it at your dentist's office, leave it at your vet's office, leave it at the coffee shop. Start sending it out with samples, and just start circulating it, because the education is what's going to build your business. If you're not empowering people with the knowledge, they're going to be getting that from somewhere else. So I would try to make sure that that's coming from you. On top of that, the folder that I'm going to send you guys, I need you to know, number one, It's a secret folder. Like, it's our secret sauce. It's not something we give to everyone. Okay. So this is a privilege. Okay. The folder itself is called doTERRA Underground because that's what it is. And it's not that like the new material from doTERRA isn't great, because it is. It's excellent. They've come a really long way in providing that. It's just, this is the foundation. You know, this is where those of us who were around at the beginning learned to love before the word compliant came about. So in the folder that I'm going to send you guys, the first thing I need you to know is it's tied to my Dropbox account. Okay. So please don't share the link, because then I get phone calls from compliance and things like that, and I don't like that. So just download what you want out of it. Okay. Some resources in there for you are called, so all the Susan Lawton stuff is in there, like Romy said. And there's things like, it's just amazing. Like, just get in there. There's things like cancer protocols and just really good stuff. So if you've ever been like, man, I don't know, just check it out. Make sure you take some time to check it out, because it took us a long time to compile, and it's got some good stuff. You know, when compliance told us we had to pull everything down, well, we pulled it down, but we didn't throw it away. So it's going to be fun, and it'll really help you guys learn things that maybe you haven't used oils for if you're new to the game. So enjoy that. Again, please download whatever you'd like and print off or send out in emails individually. Don't just send somebody the Dropbox folder that I share with you, because I will deny it. Just kidding. Just kidding. Other than that, I mean, those are kind of my go-tos. You talked about the emotions book, which I use a lot. And my other thing that's kind of the secret sauce of everything is Pinterest, right? Like, if you need an answer for an essential oil, go to Pinterest, because Pinterest search engine has really come a long way. And it's a great place to learn about oils. And it's a great place to find graphics to be able to remake as your own, or to get documents. So just go to Pinterest and type in, you know, whatever ailment. Let people know you're the person to come to find out what to do for their ailments. You know, let people know, like, my big book, I don't check out. They have to come to my house. Like, if you need my book, come on over. Like, just be the person that has this information for people. And I think the key here is to not be the expert in the information that you know. The key is to show them how you're looking it up in a book, because that's where the power is for them. And that's where they're going to connect with I can do this too. Like, oh, all I need is the oils in this book and I can do this, right? So I think it's really important not to be the expert. Keep the information the expert, keep the book the expert, and show them how you find the information. Along with the apps, the ones Romy mentioned and the one I mentioned, you can gift apps to people. So if you have people overseas who enroll, and you know what, the pain in the butt to ship things to them, you send them the app and they can download that. So you can purchase that for people as an incentive. So yeah, those are kind of some of the tips I had for you.
Thanks. I think gifting an app is an awesome idea. And it's something that I've thought about and wanted to do. I just haven't taken the time to figure out how to do it. But I think it's a great idea. And it's very inexpensive. And like Kenzie said, if we give people oils and we don't give them the education that they need to be able to use those oils, the caps are going to stay on the bottles. And the most important thing is to get the cap off the bottle and get them educated and teach them to love the oils. That's where that really is the secret sauce. If we're struggling, we need to kind of go back to the basics and teach them what we love, and really keep it simple. Like Kenzie said, we don't have to be experts. Talk about what you love. If you've only got 2 oils that you love, then talk about that, because that's where the integrity and the credibility and that belief will kick in. They are going to know that you're speaking truth because you're speaking from the heart. Don't worry about knowing everything. Just talk about what you love. and with the Susan Lawton stuff, that is really, when I sat and listened to that, that's what got the spark for me. That's what really made me excited and interested in learning more and more about the oils. That's where I got the combination with to use cypress and lemongrass for my pain. It was the information that I got from her, and then a little bit of prayer, and I never even considered or knew what cypress was until I started listening to her. So it's and not everybody may resonate with that kind of information, but for me, that was my kickstart. So I highly recommend getting in there and listening to some of it. Printing out guides for each oil is fantastic to have if you want, even if you want to take one oil with you or whatever the information for that. But I have a file of all the oil sheets that I printed out, because on the oil sheet, where did that go? What she has on the information sheets, for a lot of them, she'll go through with different recipes, so it's not just the one oil that she's talking about. Then she moves into, like, she may talk about a massage oil, or so like we have memory improvement. And the recipe that she used for memory improvement is 1 drop lemon, 1 drop rosemary, and 1 drop white fir. And so we get all of those little goodies in there as a side note, as we're learning about the oils. We get her experience in there and how she has used the oils for that. So, anybody have any questions, comments about that?
I
thought
do.
tonight was going to be a short night, and we're still
Romy,
long. Go ahead, Gail.
how do you spell her last name?
Lawton.
Okay, all righty. I
And
had
it's
that.
I think it's Dr. Susan Lawton, how she is on Facebook. So she is on Facebook. She shares a lot of cool stuff. So you can follow her there as well.
Okay, what did you say? It's L-A-W or L-O-W?
Law.
L-A-W, okay.
Yes. Another person that is fantastic with emotions is Rebecca Hinsey. So that's Hintze. She actually has some certification classes that she does as well, but she is amazing when it comes to talking essential oils and emotions. Amazing.
I have a question, and we didn't talk about it. Do you remember that little thing from back in the day, like this? I think Boyd made it, but if you don't have this oil, you can use this one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like a substitute list?
Yeah. Where would that? Do they still have that, or does he not have that anymore? Have you seen it?
I don't know.
I might have it somewhere. I'll have to look.
Okay. Mark might have it, so he'll look. You have it, Karina?
No, I think it's in the back of the new Symphony of the Cells book.
Okay, because I don't have that. So
Look in the
that's why I was
very back of
wondering.
the book, and it's substitution
Oh,
oils. I
yeah.
think.
Right.
Perfect.
Woo! I got it.
That's where it was. You do have it.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to know where to find that, because I think for somebody that's brand new, that doesn't really, and they say, I don't have this, what can I use instead? I think that would be a good thing to photocopy and give to them.
Yeah.
So, because looking in the book might be a little difficult, but photocopying that for somebody might work really well. That's why I was asking. It
Yeah.
comes to mind.
Yeah. This one is not an extensive list. I think this one is mostly for the symphony oils. But so we'll look to see if there's a more extensive list for that.
I think with the chemistry wheel that they have, that doTERRA has, so you have your essential chemistry wheel. It lists the bulk of the oil, that you can look at that to see what other oils are within that same grouping as well. I know that may not be super simple, but it may be a good start.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Doesn't Susan Lawton have a book on Amazon? I was just looking at that. Have you seen that book?
She has a book that she did with Rebecca Hinsey. I don't know if she has, I don't know if she did another one. That one is Living Healthy and Happily Ever After. That's by Rebecca Hinsey and Susan Lawton. And it goes along with the emotions.
Awesome.
Anybody else? All right. Giveaway.
We have giveaway.
Kenzie's still recording.
Do you want me to stop the recording?
Yes, ma'am.
Now that I've been non-compliant, I guess I'll stop the recording for you.